Hello, friend. I want to share a devotional reading with you. We're going to start with the scripture because we want to know God better. All that night, the Lord drove back the sea. Exodus 14, verse 21. In this verse, there's a comforting message showing how God works during darkness. The real work of God for the children of Israel did not happen when they awoke that morning to find they could cross the Red Sea, but it occurred all that night. There may be a great work occurring in your life when things seem their darkest. You may see no evidence yet, but God is at work. God was just as much at work all that night as he was the next day, when the Israelites finally saw the evidence of what he was doing. The next day simply revealed what God had done during the night. Are you reading this? Are you hearing this from a place in your life where everything seems dark? Do you have faith to see but are still not seeing? Are you lacking continual victory in your spiritual growth? Is your daily quiet communion gone and there's nothing but darkness all around? All that night the Lord drove back the sea. Don't forget, it was all that night. God works through the night until the morning light dawns. You may not see it yet, but through the night of your life, as you trust him, he works. All that night the Lord was working in the tempest blast, working with the swelling current, flooding, flowing, free and fast. All that night, God's children waited, hearts perhaps in agony, with the enemy behind them and in front, the cruel sea. All that night seemed blacker darkness than they ever saw before, though the light of God's own presence near them was and sheltered o'er. All that night, that weary vigil, past the day at last did break, and they saw that God was working all that night, a path to make. All that night, O child of sorrow, can you not your heartbreak stay? Know your God in darkest midnight works as well as in the day. So if right now you feel like you're going through the night, know God is at work. And if you're feeling you are walking through the day and can see him moving, know that God is working in your life.